Hey guys, welcome back. Robocraft Early Access coverage. This is episode 71. I'm Enigmius, and today we've got a mixed bag for you. We've got a couple of matches in the Blue Bastard that's actually half yellow now, and we've got a couple in Pretty Hate Machine. We're going to talk about some changes coming up in that direction once we get through these matches. This is a little more Tier 7 action. I went around and kind of swapped out a lot of the high-risk blocks, the ones that are the most likely to get shot off, so to speak, with the Tier 7 blocks, to such an extent now that if I add any block anywhere on the bot, it becomes Tier 8. So if I wanna beef it up much more than it is, I'm gonna have to do some messing about, and it's gonna be obvious by the end of these two matches that I'm gonna have to do some messing about. Now I kind of pushed forward. Same as the last matches in Tier 7, kind of hoping that the team would follow me up the common lanes, but they've gone straight up the middle, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm the one overextended. That's what it comes down to. It's one of those things where you can be disappointed, you can be disliking it, you can be mad at them all you want, but we're the ones who overextended, and no one made us do that but us. So now we've got two bots and a medic. Kind of chewed us a new one, so we're making a hasty retreat, if we can, trying to find where the rest of our team went, because they're just mostly up on the mountain, apparently. This is what we will come to discover. Now, we've got a little bit more protection in the wheels because of the yellow blocks, which is very, very helpful, but still finding that they're very, very easily shot off, and part of that comes from the fact that the sides of the wheels are open to some extent, so plasma can get in there very easily. SMG spray can get in there. They're not as well protected as they could be, and the consequences, we find ourselves in situations where we're limited in terms of mobility because of the lack of wheels. Now, having the steering wheels on the front and back means that it's less likely that we're going to find ourselves in a position where we can only move front and back, but on this map, we don't exactly have too many choices in terms of where we can go. And we're just like, there's an SMG behind us who's hitting us every once in a while, and then there's a guy up on the ledge, he's hitting us every once in a while. It's just kind of like, what the hell are you guys doing? Just sitting there waiting for crippled bots to come driving by? What can you do? So I'm staying to the river because it's icy and it's a little bit of a pain to navigate on, but it gives me cover from above whenever I come across a bridge. It also gives me cover in the forms of the edges of the ravines that kind of separate the river from the rest of the landmass. The ideal scenario here would be for me to come across a medic of some sort and get at least two more guns going, because right now we've got one gun, one electroplate, 4 wheels, I think, and our pilot seat, all held together by a motley collection of blocks. So, I mean, for the amount of punishment that we took, especially considering a lot of it was coming from this side, the way we wound up angled, it's still, I'm not unhappy with the way the bots perform in terms of survivability. In terms of offense, I think the biggest barrier for me, look at all the guys up on the mountain. How the hell was I supposed to get up there with them and get any kind of support? But I'm finding that that's the biggest obstacle to really finding out what this bot can do offensively, is that it's next to impossible to find where the group is, because they all go to the weirdest places at the beginning of the match. Now there's all of a sudden there's the medic, he's behind me. He kind of slid down off the mountain and now he's behind me, but it's going to be a little too late for us in this one, I think. It's just one of those matches that it's just bizarre. It's hard to criticize them, because when they do move, they move as a group. They just go to the very strange places. You can't anticipate it, which means you're sitting around waiting with them, which some of you know by now I hate to do, or you're running the risk of striking on your own. See, I was here like 3 minutes ago. Where the hell were these guys? Apparently they came afterwards at some point, and now we've got the SMG coming up from behind, and he's in pretty good shape. He's a gun bed, and that'll be the end for me in this match. I kind of moved a little bit. I was honestly hoping to draw a little bit of attention away from our medic for a little while, and it worked, but I don't expect that made much of a difference by that point, because the walker that the medic was repairing was in pretty rough shape. He wasn't doing anything, and the medic himself was really just there by himself. So now we've got a very different match. Look at the little medic. He's all cute, little medic. And then again, talking about bizarre places to go at the very beginning of a match. right down into the gully. I don't understand the logic. I mean, I understand that there are usually points in a match where there are bots that end up down there that didn't want to end up down there. You get a lot of flyers down there that have crashed and then they can't move. You get the occasional bots that slides down there when they're damaged and just trying to get out of the line of fire. But going down there purposely at the beginning of a match doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I can't figure it out. So here's where someone's going to leave a comment giving me shit for having guns on the right side when they're firing off into nowhere. It's the thing with redundant guns is sometimes that's the consequence of having so many guns is that they're not always firing on target at the same time. But after you lose a bunch of guns, then you can still keep firing at full speed. It's in a perfect world I would have all of them on all the guns on the top of the bot, but then the bot is too wide, and I've learned from our tier 10 gun bed that I don't like having a bot that's that wide. Then there's this guy, I don't know if he took a spanking on his way down here or if he just made a really awful bot, but he didn't take long to dispatch. And now I'm kind of stuck again because he took out some of my wheels on the left side. It's the right side as you're looking at it now. But you can see I'm specifically tilting the camera so that I can show you that my wheels are spinning. I'm not just sitting here not moving. I'm actually stuck on the terrain on this damn hill. So there's this little guy. I don't know what he's doing. I think he knows that there are enemy bots on either side. Rather than kind of backing up and going around, he should be leaving now. If he's not willing to, extend himself and fight, then he should be making a retreat and regrouping with his team, not just sitting behind a rock until he gets flanked, which is eventually what's happening. And here I am feeling like a dummy because I can't move. I would love to pursue him. I would have gone after him around that corner, but I couldn't move. So now, unfortunately, a medic comes along, and as soon as I get one wheel back, everything is fine. It's not a wonder that people don't like cruisers for the most part. Everyone plays a hover for a reason. When you get stuck on the damn terrain, it's stupid. It's just stupid. Why would anyone volunteer for this? I've come to the conclusion, and I could be wrong. I'm going to say that right up front. I could be wrong that the whole hover physics adjustment that we had was specifically for the purpose of making hovers more difficult to manage, to try and steer people away from them to the other movement types, because hovers have everything. They have all the pluses without really any of the minuses, or at least they did until this most recent change. And now trying to build a hover bot that actually performs fairly well, not the easiest thing in the world to do. We see another medic comes along. This is the guy that jumped down into the ravine at the beginning. I wonder if he had just stayed up topside with me, would we have done better in this match? Would we have an opportunity to kill more guys, or would it have just been too much hubris? We would have been too confident. So now we're in pretty hate machine, and hoping beyond hope that the TX1 Megaplate disaster has kind of worn off for the most part, which it turns out it has. I didn't see nearly as many in this match as I was seeing in the matches the day that they came out, which makes sense. Everyone, wants to try it out on the day that they come out, and eventually they say, okay, yeah, that's enough. We'll go do something else. It's the same thing match after match with Pretty Hate Machine, but what I'm finding is that ever since the physics update, it's just getting around from place to place. Even when I haven't really taken any significant amount of damage, it's just such an outrageous pain in the ass because it's so hard to control the bots. When you say, I'm moving forward and I want you to turn right, it kind of slowly turns right, but mostly keeps moving forward. It's like the bot rotates. Oh, here comes the railgunner. And then he just darts behind the cover there. It was smart, I guess, because I was on the move too, but still, he didn't accomplish much with that little salvo. The ponderous nature of the way hovers are working right now had got me thinking, because, you're trying to maneuver your way through a cave like this at speed, and it's just a really, really difficult thing to do. Eventually, you're going to end up bouncing off a wall somewhere. And there have been cases where I bounced off a wall so hard it's flipped my bot. And this bot has always been a little bit on the top-heavy side just because of the way it was built. The hovers are about the middle part of the chassis. They're not riding low, it's just the middle part, and then we've got all the guns on top. So we're a little bit top-heavy and prone to tipping for that reason alone. but the difficulty that we're having trying to get around corners is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's this guy, goddamn drone, happy to splat him. It's nice when they just kind of sit still like that, because then you can actually line up a good shot and make them pay for being a drone. And then this guy, of course, I get it. Yeah, the SMG versus the plasma. And then this guy will kind of do silly things too. There's a timing thing with plasma where I shoot, and then for about 6 seconds, there's nothing I can do. So if you're that SMG down there that can shoot anytime you want, what happens is after I shoot, then you pull out and you shoot me for 5 seconds, and then you scoot back behind cover. If you time it just right, you'll catch me just as I'm shooting at you, and I'll miss you, and then you can come back out and shoot again. But instead, he decides to hide, hoping that I'm going to stop noticing him, and then he tries to peek out and take his shots. Unfortunately, at this point, I've got a bomber or a drone, one of the two, blopping down on me, and the SMG guy, so I've got no choice but to bug out here and hopefully find some medics, but that's not going to go so well. Team moved up the middle. There's nothing that says success like bottlenecking your entire goddamn team on a bridge in the middle of the map. That, to me, is just, come on, guys. There's a reason why, for the longest time, people didn't go up the middle. There's a reason why they went through that cave, and the reason why they go through that cave is, one, it provides cover from bombers, and two, it's much wider than the bridge in the middle that provides no cover from bombers and forces your entire team through a fairly lengthy bottleneck. And then this, what the hell was that? I come around the corner and it's like they're having a safety meeting. Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. That's what a safety meeting is. And they're doing it very well. They're having a very good safety meeting back there. And I'm trying to think to myself, like, obviously I'm the plasma guy. I'm not pushing forward, but it would be nice if some of these dipshits would actually come up here and fight. Like, I'm looking at the minimap of what's going on. Is there a discussion taking place? Is there a telepathic strategy session? You can see that guy bumped me, and I don't blame him for bumping me, because sometimes as a hover, it's such a pain in the ass to go around someone that you're just kind of... You can tell at least he wasn't going full throttle. He kind of eased off a bit. So I wasn't unhappy, but you saw him bump me, and all of a sudden I'm rocking all over the place, which is, hover. It's apparently a balancing thing. Gotta make the bot as unstable as possible without making it intentionally flip over every 30 seconds. But in this case, we're just kind of chasing the bad guys. Now that our team has finally decided to move up, we're with them, but in the time it took them to move up, the entire enemy team has arrived at our base, and now they're starting to cap. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm the one who pushed up. They're the ones who stuck around at the base. One of them can go back and interrupt the cap. Here's the guy with the mega plates, the medic. Medics and mega plates. Oh, that guy drove into me and he did a little flip. There's only so much I could do. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to do a Mark II version of the Pretty Hate Machine. We're going to keep a lot of the things that I like about it. The fact that it's a relatively low profile bot. It's going to be plasma. It's going to be a hover. It's going to have electroplates. It's going to be hopefully weighted a little bit better so that it's not so prone to flipping. We're going to do some experimenting with the position of the thrusters, as well as adding rudders back in once we've relocated the thrusters, to see what we can come up with for the most stable and maneuverable bot. And then we'll have a brand new plasma hover, because what else can we do? So if you're interested, you want to watch that, you want to watch some more match footage, you want to see some of the guide videos that we'll be releasing as the game proceeds through testing towards launch, the easiest way to do that is to subscribe to my channel or follow me on social media for notifications. Links for that always in the information section below the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.